guys, today I'm going to show you my 5-to-1 fight with THERIN, a skill fight, and he's level 31,950, so I'm allowed 6,390 stat points because that's 1/5 of his level. So I show my equipment, and you allowed 1 hex gem and circle gems to make up the stat points, and so that's what I had in my equipment. And you also can't have ultimate magic or second chance. And with health points, you need to divide your total by 50 to see how many stat points it is. I was actually just under the allowed amount of 6,390, and I had about 30 under. So here's my fight, and he's not too hard. I didn't have too much trouble. Once you get used to his feints and step backs, then it's not a problem to finish him at this level. So I'll explain why I'm doing this fight. There's a couple of clubs on the Epic Games forum. There's the Pantheon and the Worker of Secrets club, and both clubs have an achievement which is given to you if you defeat all the IB3 bosses at level 5-to-1. So that's my intention. I'll gradually work through them and hope to get those achievements. And the Worker of Secrets Club, the achievement is the Boss King, and it's an achievement I created for that club, so I feel like I should do it. So I hope to complete all the bosses at 5-to-1 eventually and get the achievement for both of those clubs. So a 5-to-1, as I was saying earlier, it's 1/5 of the Titan's level is the amount of stat points you can have. So say the Titan is level 5,000, 1/5 of that would be 1,000, so you can have 1,000 stat points. As I explained, if you divide your health points by 50, then it shows you how many stat points are in health, and the other stats are 1-for-1. So I had 261 in shield, so that's 261 stat points. So you add them together in the stats screen, and you need to have exactly 1/5 or under of the Titan's level. So that's what I had here, and as I said, it was just a bit under, so I was clear. And also no potions and no ultimate magic or second chance. And for the Worker of Secrets Club, they actually allow 2 hex gems, but the Pantheon, it's only 1 hex gem, so I went for the 1 hex gem so that I'd end up qualifying for both clubs. But I will have to complete every boss at this 5-to-1, and so far I've done Al-Sar and the Worker of Secrets. However, I have done them with 2 hex gems, so I'll probably have to repeat that. Well, I will have to repeat those fights to have them as qualified for the Pantheon. So it's a long-term goal. I'm not planning to do these all in a row at all, but every now and again I'll throw in a 5-to-1 skill fight because it's certainly fun, it's a challenge, and I think after the Aegis tournament I was looking for another challenge. And also my dark fire, my high dark fire was in the fuse, so I was in front of THERIN, and I realised my stats were almost a 5-to-1 anyway, so I thought I might as well do the 5-to-1 fight while I had the right points. So I only had to adjust them a bit. And you need to pay 500 chips to change your stat points, so it is a bit expensive, and then you have to pay 500 again to get them back. So each 5-to-1 will cost 1,000 chips. That's if you've changed your stat points in the past, like I have. I think initially it's a cheaper amount, but after you change them a few times, the maximum is 500 chips to change your stat points. But I think it's worth it, and I didn't have much problem with this fight. As I said, I'm quite used to his feints and his step backs. His feints are harder than his step backs. The step backs are pretty straightforward. It's mainly left dodge for 2 of them, and the other one is a familiar step back that quite a few Titans have, like the Horned Stalker in IB2 had it, and quite a few of them have it where they leap in the air and then turn their spear round a couple of times. And in the description under the video, I've put a link to my video on THERIN's feints and step backs that may help you if you're looking to crack his feints, his moves, and that's with dual weapons. And his feints are tricky, but as I say, the more you do them, the more they'll become familiar and you won't have trouble with them. You know what to look for. So they're more confusing at first. I remember when I first come across him, when ID3 first came out, he seemed really hard because of those feints. I didn't know what he was going to do. But by this point, it's nearly a year it's been out now, the game, and now I'm familiar with his feints. And so a feint is where it looks like he's going to do one move, and then he changes it and in fact does a different move. So that's what to watch out for. And he has a few coming from the left and a couple where he pushes with his hand and then twists instead, and one in this last stage where he turns round. It looks like they're going to do one type of hit and then instead turns around and does another type of hit. And so what he does is different feints in the different stages, so he adds to them. So he starts in the first stage with 1 or 2 feints, and then he adds another couple in the second stage, and then a unique one in the third stage. So by the third stage you've got the most feints. So if you're looking for a challenge, then 5-to-1s are definitely a fun thing to do and adds more variety in the game as something you can work towards, and you can get an achievement for it. But you do have to have beaten the Work of Secrets first at 5-to-1 for the Work of Secrets Club before you'll get an achievement for doing other bosses. And the Pantheon has a number of requirements to get into it. I've put a link to the Epic Games forum in the video description if you want to check out those clubs. And I've almost finished THERIN now. I was using bonus combos, which aren't too hard with the steel hatchet, even without the bonus combo -1 gem. And so there was THERIN down, and I finished him off no problem at 5-to-1. So I hope you enjoyed this skill fight. Thanks for watching tamLChannel, your favourite channel for Infinity Blade. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment and subscribe, and check out my website and social pages. Thanks, see you next time.